right, welcome back to the Stronghold Podcast, where we explore capability and truth. I'm your host, Dave Barton, and today in episode 27, it is a grab bag. So, what is a grab bag? And I realize I want to explain this a little bit because I'm here in Minnesota, and I also understand there is some regional terms. So I don't know if grab bag is a United States wide term. So what a grab bag here in Minnesota is let's use a liquor store, for instance. You go into the liquor store and up by the cashier, usually there will be some brown paper bags. And those paper bags can say, let's say they go for $10. You pay for the bag and then you grab the bag and you get whatever is in the brown paper bag. Now that could be 3 cans of Schlitz beer and a PBR, or it could be a bottle of Weller's bourbon. You don't know. It's a grab bag. Point being, this episode is a grab bag, and I don't know what you'll get from it. But what it is a little bit of a stream of consciousness of some things that I have going on in life and where I'm at with the podcast, with the ideas for solo podcasts, guests, and growing the show. So you might be listening and thinking, did Dave run out of things to discuss or guests to talk with? And the answer is no. Actually, a few forces collided this week that leave me in grab bag status. And the first would be some exciting news. I am working on completing a new studio, and that is a work in progress. Now, don't get too excited. We're talking about a new curtain for a background. We're get some chairs in here, improving the lighting, and maybe a new microphone if the current one doesn't start behaving a little bit better. And then I said the forces that collide it is really my state of mind right now. And if I had to describe my current state of mind, I would say full. It's a full state of mind. And that is also a work in progress. I've got a few show ideas, a couple around one, the topic being rejection, and a second idea around how we're disconnected from our creator and our true energies. And I love both those topics. I've written a little bit for shows on both those topics. Then I have a giant topic around the relationship between war and peace and the human role in that relationship. That was actually given to me through a revelation, and it manifested itself in a poem. And there's more to come on that. That's going to be a really good, really powerful solo episode around war and peace and the human role. But along with the world, I really feel that my mind right now is going through a major shift. Oh, you haven't heard about the shift going on in the world right now? Well, I think many of you might be thinking that I'm talking about Trump or Elon or the Department of Government Efficiency. And while those are shifts and while those are changes to what we've experienced the last handful of years or the last decade, I'm actually talking about something much deeper. I'm talking about good and evil and the energies behind that and how people are feeling, how they're looking at their families, their selves, their careers. And I hear this a lot in my friend circles too. I know that I'm not the only one asking these larger questions and feeling this shift right now. I hear a lot of my friends talking about things like what is money or what they want out of life. Big questions. So how does all that come back to the Stronghold podcast and my mind? Well, besides full, I would describe my mind right now as confused. I've actually been doing a lot of healing lately that have left things like my thoughts, my beliefs, and just my current state changing by the day, sometimes changing within the day. And so while I want to talk and speak about and pass on ideas about rejection or war and peace or our disconnection from our Creator and our energies, I also want to be truthful. I want to bring a true representation of where I'm at in my heart, my mind, and my soul to the Stronghold listeners. And I don't feel like I'm in a state to do that. I do feel like I am preparing for something much bigger. But in the moment, I'm confused. I'm confused with things like what to even train for this summer. Do I run again? Do I bike again? Do I just focus on lifting and do jujitsu? Do I do all the above? I don't know where I'm going to be 2 months from now. I don't know what life will provide room for. I'm confused. I got a lot on my mind, as people say. I don't even know what I value most, because I feel like all of those things are not only changing, but I feel like along with the world, there's going to be a major shift in the near future. The way we look at things, the way we value things, the way we treat our time, the way even our monetary system works. I think there's a lot of change coming. So I'm contemplating how much the physical even takes up right now. Given the work that I feel I need to do spiritually and mentally, what do I commit to? And what do I commit the time to? And is it the right balance between that three-legged stool that we talk about on the Stronghold podcast of mind, body, and soul? And I touched on a little bit about being truthful with the listeners. And this leads to truth and being an authentic representation of myself. And if I spoke right now on any of the topics I mentioned earlier, I would be truthful in the moment, but I feel like I need to give some things time to heal, to develop in my mind, and to make sure that the thoughts and ideas and topics I'm speaking on are something that honor the listener. So I'm focusing on truth. And so why does truth matter? It's one of the tenets of the Stronghold podcast. We say the Stronghold podcast where we explore capability and truth. And if I can't be truthful right now, then I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for some things to resolve themselves. And I'm going to come back to these topics. But I'm trying to decipher my truth versus the spoken truths that I've had handed to me since childhood. Feel like I want to re-explore those things. I don't want to take things for granted. I heard a friend speak on his podcast recently that he was told as a child that the world is unfair, and the sooner he accepts that fact or that truth, the better he'll be for it. And while things about the world might not be fair in moments, he spoke about how it's really always been fair. It's been an output of what he's put into things. It's been what he's seeked as an individual and as an adult. And we have to look at those relationships and we have to question who told us that. And I had another friend tell me that, like, who told you that? And is it a truth that the world has spoken to us? Because we know a lot of the things that the world speaks to us are based on fear or shame or guilt or emotions like I'm not enough or I'm not a priority. These labels that the world gives us and we attach to our identity. And then there's truths that our Creator provides that are focused around the fruits of the Spirit: love, peace, patience, kindness, self-control. And those are values and truths that I want to emulate, that I've decided I want to follow and I want to pursue, and I want to grow in myself and in the community of loved ones, family, and friends that are around me. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to explore that truth and try to make sure that I'm understanding the truths that I accept fully, that I'm not having anything handed to me, and I'm trying to sidestep the programs that have made their way in. And I also know that my heart, my soul, especially in the last year, have shown me things that I cannot explain. But I know that my Creator is close to me at all times. I know that I've spoken more with Him in the last year than the last 47 years combined. And so it leaves me excited. It leaves me thinking that good things are on the way, that a shift that I feel is going to be a positive one. And I know I play a part in that, and that I have to have the right mindset, and that I have to work on my heart, and so that I can emulate those qualities: peace, patience, kindness, self-control, that I can model those with my life, with my words, with my actions. I think those are worthwhile endeavors. And I know that the podcast going forward is going to have some exciting guests. I have some lined up, and we're going to continue talking about identity and the values that we embrace in life that are individual to each of us. We're going to be talking about a vision for our lives and why that matters. And we're going to continue to talk about creation and creating, and why that's so vitally important to our existence as human beings. So, we have a lot of good things to talk about on the horizon with the Stronghold podcast, and a lot of work to do as individuals. And I want to help those friends that are talking about what money means to them and at what cost do they exchange their life and time for money anymore. And I want to help those friends talking about what they want from their lives. And I want help from them as I'm navigating those same topics. So hopefully this episode gave you some things to think about. Hopefully from the grab bag, you don't feel like you got 3 cans of Schlitz and a can of PBR. Maybe you got something a little bit more valuable from the grab bag. But as always, I want to thank you for joining me and listening into the Stronghold Podcast.